This is lecture 4, chapter 4, and we're going to look at marketing and markets. And your market is a group of people or organizations that may be interested in buying your product or service, that can afford to buy that product and can do that legally. Marketing is the development and the use of strategies for getting a product or service to customers and generating interest in that product. Marketing is the business function that identifies your customers and their needs and their wants. And through marketing, the name of your business comes to mean something clear and concrete in the customer's mind, which is a brand. For example, Nike symbol, you know that brand, you know exactly what it means. Also, the LV for Louis Vuitton is another one. It's definitely a brand that you know exactly what it means when you hear it. And above all, marketing is the way a business communicates its competitive advantages to the market. Next we're going to look at marketing research, because that's something we're going to need to do to determine our customer base. So there's two types of marketing. There's primary and secondary marketing research. And marketing research is the process of finding out who your potential customers are, where you can reach them, and what they want and need. And so primary research is getting the information directly from the subject or subjects. Some different types of primary research are personal interviews, telephone surveys, written surveys, focus groups, observation, and tracking. So for this course, we are doing secondary research, and this is getting information indirectly from consumers. So it's information that's already been or research that's already been done. So we can do that through online searches, through books and articles and databases online, such as the census, or information on home values, traffic reports for a location. Trade associations have information. Also, chambers of commerce or small business associations have information. Also, Texas Tech has a small business center. A lot of universities have small business centers to get information. And also a lot of different public agencies also have information. And then the other main one besides books and records would be to review competitors' websites. And you can also look at, if they're a public company, you can look at their annual reports, and they'll talk about who their consumer base is and give you information on them. And market research is the collection and the analysis of data regarding target markets, industries, and competitors. So we can look at more than just the target market. We can also research the industry you're going into and your competitors. And you use your market research to find out who your potential customers are, where you're going to reach them. So where are they at? What do they want and need? How do they behave, which would be their demographics, psychographics. And what is the size of your potential market? Is it a big enough market to sustain your product and make a profit? So you need to learn from actively listening to your customers. You need to find out what they really think about your product and service. You need to find out if they like the name of your business. Do they think your location is easy to get to? Do they like your logo and branding materials? Do they like your proposed prices and your promotional efforts? These are definitely not something we will be able to do in this class, but if you were starting a business, being able to do this is more like primary research. Being able to do that would be really great to get an understanding about your company and who your target market is and what they want before you bring a product to market. That's definitely what big corporations do before they bring out a new product. And you need to do research on who is your customer and really learn about them. So listed here are some of the demographics of your target market. And that would be like, how old are they? What kind of income do they have? What are their hobbies and interests, which looks more into their psychographics? What's their family structure? Are they married, non-married, children? What's their occupation? And what is the benefit your product or service offers that would best attract them? So what about your product attracts a certain target market the best? Looking at industry research. So I said we needed to do consumer research, but we also need to do industry research. And you want to do industry research on different things like how big is your industry? So is it a big enough industry to support your products and be sustainable for the long run? Where is your industry located? So geographic region, is it located where you're wanting to start this? Is it a niche industry or does it reach a mass market? So is it a very niche market? Will you have enough consumers? And is this industry been profitable in the past? Also, what are some trends that are occurring in your industries? Because that would be something to look at the trends, and if there's a new product trending, that might be something to start with. And what's the structure of the industry? And then what competition is in that market space? So who's the competition in your industry that you would have to compete with, and how much of the market share do they have? An example of a trend would be such as sustainable clothing would be a trend right now. And is that a trend that's going to stick around? Is it profitable to even do that? Does your specific target market even care about sustainability? So market research is something that you do more than once. So it's an ongoing process within your business. And once you get your business open, you need to survey your customers and stay current with their needs and feelings about your products and service, and make sure that you're doing things well and making them happy. So how do customers decide to buy? So there's a 3-step process to this. And it's important to not only determine your target market, but also how they will purchase your product or service. So you need to analyze the buying process by looking at where they would learn about your product from advertising. Where would they go to purchase it? Would they go online, in store? So really looking at that whole buying process is important. And what need are you going to serve through that? Next, we're going to look at customer perception. And along with that, looks at features and benefits. And you need to think about how your product can meet a customer's need and create demand and provides a benefit to the customer. So a feature is a fact about a product or service, and a benefit is what that feature can do to meet a customer's needs. So you'll want to really think about what that is, what your feature and benefit is. An example would be Teflon pans benefit is easy cleanup because it have the Teflon. Next is market segmentation, and it's a group of consumers or businesses that have a similar response to a particular type of product or service as you do. And a market segment is composed of consumers who have they're wanting a similar product or service. And so you need to figure out who your market segment is. And there's different ways to segment the market. You can do geographic segmentation, which is dividing a population by location. You can do demographic segmentation, which would be dividing the population on those variables that we talked about earlier, like age, income, education, even on sex. Psychographic segmentation, and this is dividing your population by psychological differences such as personalities or lifestyles. So what do you like to do for hobbies? And then behavioral segmentation is dividing the market by purchase behaviors that have been observed, such as brand loyalty or responsiveness to prices. Do they do a lot of impulse shopping? Those kind of behavioral segments. It's also important to know where your product is in the product life cycle to determine if you should introduce the product. Because obviously, if your product is in maturity or decline, especially in decline, you would not want to bring that product in. And then even in maturity, if that market is very saturated, you wouldn't want to bring the product in because it wouldn't be profitable. So that's one other thing to look at too before determining your product or service. So next is a market positioning. And positioning is distinguishing a product or service from similar products or services being offered to the same market. And you can do that by focusing on your competitive advantage. And you can use like the following positioning statement format to develop a positioning statement for your business. So you would say your business name, what is your competitive industry or category, and what benefit, remember how we mentioned benefit, are you going to provide that makes you different or better than the competition to your audience, so who, or your target market. So who's your target market? Is it Generation Z? Is it baby boomers? Is it only females between the ages of 18 and 27? Who is your specific market? So a sample positioning statement would be, Microsoft is the U.S. software producer that provides affordable computer solutions to American businesses. And this is our main key terms for Chapter 4.